because they don't want to commercialize. As a city, we partner to provide them with the information of the city, do what we do in terms of economic development. He's licensed 3 technology companies. KABC Channel 7 recently did a presentation on ACRE-IE, which is some science on mosquitoes and the senses that mosquitoes have that attracts you. And so he opened up, unfortunately it's in San Bernardino, but he opened up a lab out there. San Bernardino here? No, okay, I can talk about them. We didn't want the mosquitoes, honestly. We didn't even take the mosquito. We'll take that. And we had a 5-story office building that had been vacant. He took the 5th floor of that. The building has now been renamed the Innovation Center. He has about 5 or 6 partners in there, and he's incubating local technology. Marketing, public relations. It's important that we tell the story of what our businesses are doing. The outlook that you see there goes out to over 100,000 households. That's a monthly newsletter. We also do a weekly newsletter that has over 90. We actually had beach volleyball in downtown Riverside. Festival of Lights is another big one. Over 50,000 people attend the lighting ceremony. There's 3.5 million lights that take place there. Next one. And then Seizing Our Destiny. This is really our economic development strategy for a 10, 20, 30-year period, looking at where we want to be. We partnered with the University of California Riverside School of Business to help us put this together, and it partnered with public sector and private sector, so it's a joint project. Next slide. As I mentioned to you before, we own our own public utilities, which is it's a big benefit to us as we reach out to businesses. Next slide. I talked about the economic development incentive rate. Year 1, 40% discount. Year 2, 20% discount. In order to qualify, there, if you have children, you've probably seen some of their stuff that they do. They manufacture baby products and license under Carter as well. They went into a 350,000 square foot building in our Sycamore Canyon and are expanding to 450,000 at the end of the year. Jobs attracted since 7/1/10, 903, since 1/1/08, 4,363. And I'm getting the 1 minute. I hope that was the right finger you pointed at me there. I saw it off the corner of my eye. If you have any questions, there's my name, my contact information. You can also visit us on our website, www.riversideca.gov, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Greg. I want to make a comment. I was leaving a meeting at the Mission Inn here about 2 weeks ago. And I got on the 91 going back towards the 60, and there's a big electronic panel for one of the centers, Orange something center. And it said on there, what caught my eye was it's $10,000 for graffiti if you get caught in your city. Yeah, so I contacted my good friend, Mr. Palmer.
You probably graffitied it and called
No, I thought that was pretty smart to let people know. I think actually you should put a 5-0 on there, but I thought it was pretty smart to do that, and I want to congratulate you. Our next
and talked about that were kind of in concept drawings. So very, very proud that we got through some of these this year. The first one is we've spent a great deal of time and energy and resources in our old town, which has now been deemed downtown Temecula. And this picture here is the front of the new Civic Center. Some of the crowds that have joined us for some of our special events, but there does seem to be a positive trend in mixed-use development, especially within the downtown, and so we're encouraging that, and we are partnering as long as we can, as long as Governor Brown will allow us to do so. There's still a lot of opportunities for development within the Old Town area on the west side of the Marietta Creek. This is a large 300 acres that's prime for development, and we'll be working with the landowner here for the future, and a lot of great ideas. Plan for this, and the infrastructure is in place to support access to this property. Jefferson Corridor is kind of the main thoroughfare through Temecula on the east side of the creek, and we are planning to invest heavily in this and the redevelopment of this corridor. We see it as a large financial district, creating tens of thousands of jobs, hopefully, in the future. This is adjacent to our largest employer, Abbott Vascular, which is obviously a global employer and employs over 4,000 jobs in Temecula now. A lot of capital improvement programs planned. This is our 5-year planning document. We will be investing heavily, over $350 million in circulation projects in our CIP. Also, South Coast Winery, any of you been there? Named for the second year in a row, top winery in the state of California. The tourism industry continues to be probably over $600 or $700 million a year industry, and we're continuing to support that. The winery councils, our staffs work closely together, and we're committed to representing the greater region for the benefit of creating.
A little story, we were down your way for a week in December, and about 2 years ago, my oldest nephew, who's the chief vintner at Leonesse, told me he was investing into a deal over on Front Street in Old Town Temecula. I told him I didn't think it was a very good idea. Then I went down and spent a night drinking wine in Old Town, and I really told him, I said, he really had a home run, so you guys have got a great place down there. So our closing act is a very strong supporter of this chapter, and we obviously appreciate what Edison does, and Janelle is going to talk tonight and kind of close up our session. I'd like to thank Stephanie Young for what she does with Edison, and Janelle, come on up here and thanks for all the things that you do for us.
You're welcome. Hopefully you can hear me. We do this in hopes of putting downward pressure on our economic development rates and our power rates. We focus on the large customers, that's the customers 200 kW and above, primarily manufacturing, industrial, some single office use buildings. We leverage partnerships with those that you've already heard from today, both on the local level, the regional level, and on the statewide level. Next. Our partners, we act as a resource. We act as a resource for those assigned SCE account representatives. In other words, those account representatives that are focused on and have an individual client base of our larger industrial customers inside Edison. With the local and regional as well as the statewide organizations, and we work very closely with the real estate community, the brokerage community, and of course site selectors. We work really closely with international and national site selectors. We work to overcome obstacles, the cost of doing business, and assist with permits, zoning, parking ratios, right-of-ways, also right-of-ways and easements inside Edison in trying to solve issues and problems where a customer, a potential customer might have issues with Edison and our real estate division. Next. We also form economic red teams. This is bringing a collaborative group of the public and private sector together to solve a prospective customer's individual issues in order to get them to locate here or to stay or expand in our territory. We have 3 analytical tools, all of which are free to you to use. We have an economic impact analysis, ACRE-IE. We also have a GIS system, and we do rate and site-specific rate analysis. I'll talk a little bit about each one of them real quickly. Our ACRE-IE report is actually an analysis and a compilation. It's a fairly large report. It takes into account a customer or prospective customer's cost of benefits, their direct and indirect salaries, as well as the taxes that they pay and any construction costs. And that business then knows what its value is on a local level, a regional level, and on a state level. So the report also goes as far as saying, well, if you have so much indirect and direct salaries, that supports so many grocery clerks, so many doctors, so many hospital beds. So it's a very comprehensive report. We provide it free to anyone that's locating in our territory or that's in our territory. On the marketplace, those reports can be worth upwards of $1,500. You will also find, if it's a listed property, the broker's name, all the details about the listing, as well as the broker's contact information. So demographics, the broker's contact information, and then also we'll have all the incentive zones. If that particular piece of property is located in a state or federal incentive zone, it will show up. So it's a valuable tool for site selectors and the properties that you want to market in Southern California. Again, it's free. The rate and site analysis will do customers' analysis of what his costs of power might be, so that he can compare that with other communities or other states that they're thinking about locating in. Let's see. We also have a group, a business development group inside the Economic Development Department programs. So there's, in the 50,000 square miles of Edison's territory, there are 5 of us that focus.
I'm Stephanie Young. I have responsibility for San Bernardino County, and I am the last person besides Joe Brady here that's standing between you and the table back there in the back. Alcohol. Food too?
Yeah.
Okay, food too, he says. But anyway, we listened to our customers, and last year, if you'll take it to the next slide, please, we asked for and did receive approval for a 5-year retention rate. It is available to our customers until December 31st of 2012. What that means for our customers is that if they make an application and receive approvals for the rate, they will receive their 5-year from the time that the approval takes place. But we will be able to market this rate until it's fully subscribed until December of 2012. I caution our customers that if you're looking to relocate their business outside of the state of California, or they would not bring their business here, or they would not expand here. Expansion, attraction, and or retention has to be in excess of 200 kW for the minimum eligibility requirements. Next slide. Determination of eligibility is determined by SCE, and we also too work with the California State Office of Business Investment Services, which is CalBiz, with the approval process. As Janelle stated, we keep all of our information confidential. We share information only as needed in order to move the process forward. Next slide, please. We do have some customers that are currently on our existing EDR. Most of them will be coming coming to the end of their agreements sometime this year. We have several that will end next year, but currently, as it's stated, those customers will not be eligible to renew their or go forward with the new EDR project. Next slide. Again, privacy of business case information. We will protect your information, but there may be a time that the PUC, or California Public Utility Commission, will ask for information. We will protect all proprietary information as possible, but the PUC does have access to some of the information as part of the process. Next slide. Liquidated damages. You may find, or we may find, that there are customers who have stated their business case in error, and if it's found that they've stated in error, they could be subject to liquidated damages. If you'd like to have access to the full tariff, my business card is on the table, 4th table on my left. Send me an email and I'll send you the direct link to the tariff itself so that you can actually have access to it. You can also find that at www.
That's what this whole thing's about. Thanks again for giving me the opportunity to do this. I really enjoyed it.
Great.
First of all, I want to say, when this began about 4 years ago, the whole idea was that, take a little cue from San Bernardino County Economic Council, is opportunity. And as we've heard today, there's huge opportunity. This is an area that has geographically the 2 counties put together is the largest region in the entire United States. We know, as Dr. John Husing keeps saying over and over, there's dirt here. It is a land of opportunity. And I want to thank each one of the different cities that were here. Everybody who is up here right now has been with us from the very beginning for the last 4 years, and a special note of appreciation for the fact that they've hung in there with us from the very beginning. And thank you all very much.